Brimstone Investment Corporation Limited was started in 1995 by Fred Robertson and myself. Later on, we were joined by Laurie Prosen, who's a financial director at present. We started off by being a community-based financial institution. In 1994, we were fortunate to be sent to the USA just after our first democratic elections, where we realized that there was an opportunity in the Western Cape. At that stage, Gauteng had two big investment companies called New Africa Investment Company, being run by Dr. Matlana, and Real Africa Investment Holding Company, being run by Don Dube. And Fred and I realized that there was a gap in the market and that the Western Cape was not being presented at all.
As you know, we were founded on the Cape Flats in 1995, and we listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange in 1998. It's been a very wonderful experience. We didn't know when we started out that we would be able to achieve the success that we have. We've delivered significant value for our shareholders, and we've been blessed with very good shareholders who supported us even in the hard times. But they have reaped very, very good fruits from it. They have also been supportive in the way we have increased the circle of benefit to all South Africans. We started on the Cape Flats, but we now have shareholders right across South Africa, and we even have some international shareholders.
Today, thankfully, we've now got 26 NGOs as shareholders, and the value of the shares that we've given away so far, including the life healthcare shares which they got when we unbundled life healthcare in 2010, it's in excess of 30 million rand. And the challenge to us at Brimstone is, and we discuss it at executive level all the time, we'd love to see at least 1% of Brimstone being held by NGOs within the very, very short foreseeable future. We'd love to have that done by the next 2 or 3 years, and there's work in progress all the time to get to that. On an annual basis, we're buying back more shares and giving it to NGOs. The NGOs represent more than 3 million people in this country. They've got more than 3 million beneficiaries, and we believe when we pay dividends, and we pay dividends on an annual basis for the last 12 years, we are in actual fact helping the citizens of South Africa to get a portion of what empowerment should be to the whole country.
We're grateful to Brimstone because through the relationship with Brimstone we've been able to build up on our legacy fund, which is a sustainability fund, because what they have encouraged us to do is to take the dividends, for example, that we get. Whenever we get those dividends, we do not spend them on projects, but rather put it away for long-term sustainability. So our relationship goes back a while, and we're grateful for such relations because they help us sustain ourselves way into the future.
The relationship with Brimstone Investments goes back quite a few years. One of our board members got in touch with Brimstone Investment staff, and they had a discussion, and Brimstone were very interested in the work we do, the model we provide, and the cause related to what we're doing that helps the environment as well as provide hungry people with meals. A discussion ensued, and from that Brimstone decided that they will support this organization.
So far, it's been a prestigious honor to be associated with a company like Brimstone. The reason for this is being associated with Brimstone or being part of their best beneficiaries. This gives us credibility as a foundation, because a company like Brimstone who would not have invested in a fly-by-night organization.
Brimstone has acknowledged the work that we're doing is valuable for the Mitchells Plain community, and I think also the partnership or the liaison that they have with Minister Trevor Manuel also played a big role. We were very excited when they awarded us these shares in the company to pursue some of the projects that we want to.
They are supporting us, they are supporting our bakery. You know, we get like stuff when it's winter, we also get stuff when it's winter. But you know, Brimstone is not only supporting our organization, but other stakeholders that we're working with. So it's quite a broad support that they are doing, and we really appreciate it.
This particular scheme that we are involved in is the BEST program. What is amazing about it is, first of all, it's one of the few, if not the only listed company that has this here, where they are able to engage with social development programs like ours and offer this kind of assistance, whether it's through direct financial assistance or through shares.
Brimstone is a very exciting new relationship. So it's a new young sponsor, a sponsor we're very excited about, a sponsor that's really looking to the way and needs of NGOs as far as future sustainability.
We're going to make sure that this partnership is really going to be special. We will feed back to them all the time. We have a monthly newsletter that we send out that will go to them. We'll invite them to come and visit us from Cape Town. So we're going to build that partnership so they can see that their investment has been a worthwhile investment.
The relationship with Brimstone and Brimstone, its chairman Fred Robertson, they provide us, or they allow us to use their facilities. We're an NGO, we collect money, and all the money we collect is dispersed.
There's a little bit of stability knowing there's money coming in. It helps. That means you don't have to go and source it for the next month. At least you know that little bit come in and it's helping.
I couldn't believe that anyone would just give us shares and actually give us credibility and transparency immediately with donors, because that's what happened. So we walked the walk. We got the shares from Brimstone, so we're one of their best beneficiaries.
I saw this basically as an opportunity for long-term investment and for long-term sustainability of the organization. And that has brought a whole new way of thinking around raising funds for the school.
They've played a major role in the sense of funding. They're one of our funders, and they've also adopted us in the sense of shares which has been given to us, and whenever those shares have these dividends, we are one of the lucky ones or lucky organizations.
We've been privileged to be the beneficiary of the BEST program. We've been privileged to have a close association with the leadership of the company, and that really has infused us with a tremendous sense of support, of having such a powerful organization backing and believing in us. It's been truly unique.
The allocation of shares is not your traditional form of funding, but it's quite innovative. And also, so while we received the shares in 2010, and then again we received additional shares in 2012, the relationship will of course be ongoing for the duration of the period that we hold the shares.
It's unique in the sense that we are a beneficiary of shares, but I think the uniqueness lies around how it is we are able to gain credibility as an organization where a donor or a funder has invested in an NGO like ours.
Our particular relationship has always been the the bigger benefit to the students. You know, an immediate rand that comes in pays for an immediate expense, and that is how we function. But with Brimstone, the relationship was one that we said, how do we have a 10 and 20-year relationship towards long-term sustainability? So to be able to have shares in a company like that and to be able to sit on those shares and build long-term reserves has been an absolute cornerstone for us.
We are very privileged to be sort of a partner in Brimstone. Mr. Gulam Akawari, a previous MEC of Social Development, recommended us to Brimstone. Brimstone came to us and they did an assessment of all our services as well as our financial management, and then we received the good news that we were accepted as a partner that can get shares in the company.
Brimstone called us a few years ago to say, look, we selected you as one of the charities, we identify the work that you do, and we'd like to give you so many shares, and you know, will you accept?
Well, Brimstone is one of those, I think, rare organizations that sort of committed itself to giving shares to entities like Sakakamba at no cost.
Well, we look at all the projects that come through. They're first screened in-house by a committee, and we have criteria, and then those screenings that come to the board, we meet once every 3 months, or 4 times a year, and we then look at those projects, firstly whether it meets the criteria, secondly discuss them, and then as a board decide whether we're going to allocate shares to them as an organization.
The shares have a vested value and can be sold by the nominated beneficiaries after a period of 5 years in increments of 20% per annum. Over and above this, however, recipients participate fully in any dividends declared by Brimstone from the date of receipt of shares. Since its inception, the number of organizations participating in the BEST program have continued to grow as Brimstone Investment Group seeks to further positively impact the communities and individuals it touches.
The assistance is one of sustainability, that it ensures that Cheshire Home Summerstrand is going to be around for a long, long time.
Funding of this nature could provide a model for future sustainability for NPOs. It has a number of benefits and has helped in a number of ways. So it has strengthened our balance sheet. It is helping us move towards greater future sustainability by building our reserves.
What Brimstone Investments donation has allowed us to do was to be able to keep trucks on the road so that we're able to bring meals into our warehouse and then provide meals to hungry people that need that assistance.
It's there now, we're not using it now, we're allowing it to grow. So we can't see the benefits of it now, but we'll see it in the long term. And hopefully as the thing grows, and if they decide to make another contribution, in years to come, to make that to returns stronger and bigger, it'll benefit somebody along the line.
We now have shares on our books from which we derive dividends to see to the day-to-day affairs. But the shares are encumbered over various periods, so we can't, for instance, sell any shares in the first 4 or 5 years. Once we reach those vesting periods, we can then dispose of those shares and utilize those funds. But the idea is that our balance sheet looks very good. As an NGO, if we wanted to raise money, we could take that balance sheet to a bank and say, look, we've got R1 million worth of equity in the form of listed shares.
The biggest part of it is the credibility, because if you fill in application forms, you have to show who's the people who invest in you. And because Brimstone has got such a brand and they are so well known, it gives us credibility. So not funding really, it doesn't really make a big difference, but that is something that's also part of our sustainability. And that proves that we are really serious about what we are doing. We're not just getting funding to cover day-to-day costs, we are actually making sure that we are going to be here for the next 145 years.
We often speak to the staff about long-term planning, and we can't plan long-term without funds. So our focus and the lesson we have learned from meetings with Brimstone is that the future for us is to actually ask for shares.
The shares are for us something that's going to almost, how can I say, it's like an insurance, that we know that while we are carrying on raising current funding, we have these shares that are available if and when we need them, and that we are going to get dividends, so we are going to get some funding for the shortfalls that happen with NGOs, but also the fact that we can actually go out there to new corporates now and say, we have got some long-term funding. We're not going, don't worry, we are going to be around for the next 2-3 years because a company like Brimstone has given us shares.
Currently, we are quite pleased with the fact that the Brimstone shares have appreciated in value, and hopefully we'll be able to unlock it at some point in the near future. And that's the benefit that we're looking for.
The benefit of that is, I mean, they are listed on the JSE, so the whole country can take note of the services of Sinotando. We receive annual shares or dividends of our shares, which help us then to render, you know, the physical services to the children regarding food and clothing, etc.
So we're busy with the support of the Royal Bafokeng and other private individuals, be Brawn organisation as well, giving us equipment. We're busy building a burns unit which will be completed by the middle of this year, and it'll be the only facility of its kind servicing sort of the central northern regions of South Africa. With that facility in place, we're going to be able to hopefully access expertise that is unique in this whole area of skin grafting and cultivation of skins.
So in short, Brimstone has given us in a way that they've addressed our short-term need while at the same time investing in our long-term success. And that for us is an invaluable model, and it's something that we're really hoping other corporates will take up and emulate, because I truly believe that if we have a wide range of blue chip companies investing in the same way that Brimstone has, we'll have a different landscape for the welfare and non-profit organisations in this country.
So the way that it helps is twofold. Again, one needs, if I can just take a step back, the way we pay our bills, as it were, is we have a couple of ways that we do that. The one is that we get through corporate social investment, we get cash. We need money in because we need to buy muffins and pay salaries.
We use the dividends that we received, like it's a sum of 15,000 rands, to in the bakery, and also it gives us a leverage into other companies, like to let them know that we're being supported by Brimstone.
Our hope would be that other investors will see Brimstone has chosen you, there's some shares for you, and that it will give them perhaps just the satisfaction that we're a credible organisation, that we're a good team to partner with, we're not a fly-by-night organisation, and that any investments made to Missionvale will have a real and tangible impact on the people that we serve.
When you are judged by any entity that does an audit, you are judged by the strength of your balance sheet. And that's exactly what the shares does to your balance sheet. It just gives you that strength, because you have a very firm asset in terms of Brimstone shares, which of course makes your solvency ratio look so much better.
I'd like to look at how we could reach out to more organizations. We haven't mastered that yet. And because there's so much corruption and organizations that just, as I say, appear and then disappear, we have to be so cautious as to how we actually allocate these funds. So if we could master that, we'd be able to do so much more. And I think that, Brimstone as a company needs to be applauded, because in a short space of time they've made a very big financial contribution to organizations that are making a difference in the community. and it's a great pity that we can't get other organizations to do likewise. You know, to really, there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of advertising, there's a lot of media, but whether that money is actually getting to those organizations is questionable.
Welcome to this evening's dialogue on breast cancer, held by and presented by Brimstone and Nedbank. And I'm sure each and every one of you here know of or is close to somebody who's had the dreaded disease, or the so-called dreaded disease of breast cancer. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our cancer survivor, Sarah Bailey, and all the cancer champions here tonight. I believe there are many of them here. And a special welcome to a dedicated team of professionals and staff from Life Healthcare, including Dr. Nluni, Dr. Jackie Hall, Dr. Anne Gudgeon.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bailey, and I'm a guest breast cancer survivor. I was invited to this event by Brimstone, and I think it's wonderful in the month of breast cancer awareness that these kind of opportunities happen and are given support by companies, because it's through retelling one's own journey with breast cancer and the personal story that I think people really start to think about their own lives and how important it is to become aware of how it can happen to any of us. So I'd like to thank Brimstone and Nedbank for sponsoring such an incredible event.
We're starting off today in celebrating Brimstone's 20th anniversary, and we thought there's no better way of doing it than sharing it with the poor. So what we decided to do was to pack 1,050 food hampers for today. Each food hamper comprises of 35 or 37 grocery items and a box of fruit and veg.
Brimstone is a company with a soul. While we create profit for our shareholders and we do business and we respect all our stakeholders, we believe very firmly we can't leave the marginalized behind. We believe very firmly that we as a business have to increase the circle of benefit to all South Africans.
We know there is a need out there. We know that there's people much less fortunate than ourselves. So we know this little bit that we're putting together is going to help a family. We're distributing it throughout the communities in Cape Town. It's going to different religious organizations as well as different communities. You've got the Hindu community, the Jewish, the Muslim, the Christians, everyone everywhere is getting a little bit of what we've put together here today.
We have a number of people, employees from our subsidiaries, from our associate companies, from the NGOs, employees who have brought their children here to come and help pack. And in this way we encourage teamwork in terms of giving, not just teamwork for profit. There's an excitement here that people are giving back, and people are, as you can see all over here, they're just happy to be giving. And Brimstone, it's a great way to be celebrating our birthday.
Knowing that I'm part of that circle, contributing towards the upliftment of our country basically, or just helping someone in need. So just being part of that is fulfillment enough for me. Yeah.
A lot of work, and it was fun. We met new people, we worked and we cheered up the runners.
Brimstone, well done. Well done Team Brimstone, it was a great team effort, a fun day. I think it's easier to work here than to run 56 Ks. Thank you.
But I want to just say a huge, massive thank you to all of you guys. I think it was a simply fantastic day today, and you guys were just all amazing, so you have to give it to yourselves. Fantastic.
We now have people from the League of the Friends of the Blind, to University of the Western Cape, to Elru Early Learning Resource Centre, and there are just people, so many people benefiting from the aged, from the youth, from the disabled. Bursaries are being given, and it's a wonderful experience to have been able to have this opportunity of creating Brimstone in a new democratic South Africa. We have stayed true to our vision, and our reason for existence is to be profitable, empowering, and have a positive social impact.
It's just very, very gratifying that other people also want to do something. And I think in South Africa we maybe lost that. We don't know anymore the how. When we were kids and growing up, our parents could take us to places where we could go do charitable work. And we sort of seem to have lost that in the current race to do I don't know what. Everybody's trying to achieve. And maybe this is an opportunity for us to go back to the basics again. In the old days you had the church and the mosque and all those guys doing all this good work. But it seems to be lost now. People believe they can write a check for everything, and I don't believe that's the only thing to do. You have to give up your time as well and effort and show to the poor that we do care for them. And that's why we're doing it.